Hey, bestie. Welcome back. Episode 4. And I'm calling you bestie because by the end of this journey, we will be besties indeed. So here we go. Let's jump into episode 4.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
You are now in the game with Dropping Dimes, Basketball Diaries with Michelle Ambrose, giving you the good, the bad, and the full court press. A mother's love of the game while navigating her son through high school basketball, prep school, university, and beyond. Get ready. Game clock set. We about to tip off.
Disclaimers. One thing I never spoke about are various disclaimers that I should have put out there in regards to this podcast. So let's start them off. Disclaimer number 1. What worked for me might not necessarily work for you. And what you're going through and what you're exhibiting is maybe a different path that I went through, and that's okay. As long as you go through the journey and you get to where you need to get to. So it's all good as long as the outcome is favorable in your eyes as it was favorable in my son and my eyes. Number 2, naysayers. There's going to be naysayers along the way. It doesn't mean that you hinder your process. It doesn't mean that you even have to listen to them. What's meant for you will be for you, or what's meant for your child, your daughter, or your son will be for your daughter or your son. And I hold that to the highest regards. It's something that along the journey, I found that different people would have various concerns or they would give me their opinions. And I totally appreciated it because it allowed me to understand different opinions, different angles of the coin. It just allowed me to take that information as knowledge. Did I apply some of it? 100%. But there were some opinions that I listened, I heard what they had to say, and I moved from it. I moved on from it. So you're totally the king or queen of the decisions you make for your child. Number 3, trust the process. I'm sure you've heard it all the time, or you hear it all the time. Trust the process. And I'm going to say, and I've said so in, I think, episode 1, trust yourself. Trust what you learn, trust what you research, trust what you're being told, and trust your gut. Because I feel like a lot of the opinions that we stumbled on, I felt like it wasn't based off of just trusting the process. It was based off really researching, but just having that overall gut feeling of saying this feels good, this feels right, this is what we're going with, and continuing on that journey. So trust your gut. If you're feeling hey, I'm not really feeling what this school is showing me, or I'm not really feeling the situation, you're probably right. I felt that every situation Keon and myself went through, we learned. It wasn't anything really negative or alarming where it made us push away. I think we always collected the information and, we would sit down and it came to a point where we understood where we were going and what we wanted to do. Right? So I leave you with trust your gut. Another is a disclaimer I will say is I'm a single mother. So my view in what I tell you is solely based on the fact that I have placed a lot of emphasis in supporting and raising my son, and I've gone through that journey with him. So what might work for you, you could be a couple. It could be father and mother going through the journey with their child, daughter or son. However that goes, I'm sure it will go fine. For me, it's been more so that I've been that key individual in Keon's life in making all of the decisions with him, in embarking and being in a male-dominated world as a single mother, really uncovering some of the key components he needed in order to make formalized decisions on being a D1 player. So has it been easy? Absolutely no. Have I learned a lot? Absolutely yes. But it's been a journey and it still continues to be a journey. I think for me, what I pride myself with is that I try to understand the entire picture. I try to collect whatever information I can then bring to the table and ask the right questions when it's time to ask those questions. I'm not shy. For those who know me, but But what I will say is that I really wanted, as a parent, to support Keon as best as I could. So I, in a lot of areas, did a lot of research just to make sure that we were in alignment. Do I know basketball? You know my story. I played high school basketball. It wasn't my first love. At that point in time, there wasn't any WNBA, so I didn't have any high aspirations to go into the WNBA. But now that this is the realm that we live in and there is the WNBA, power to all female basketball players. Continue your growth, continue to shine, get there. I think it's unbelievable. What an opportunity. And coming soon in Toronto will be a WNBA team. So I'm totally excited and probably looking to have some type of alignment with that organization. So as I'm saying to you that my perspective and everything that I will be telling you for the most part will have more of that single mother going through the journey. But again, my background playing college ball, I was a ref, I've been a coach. I'm not new to basketball. I might not know everything. And if you ever see me at a game, I'm pretty much quiet because I feel like I'm taking in Keon's games, not so much of how many points he's scoring, but to give him feedback on what I can deliver to him after the game to let him know, like, this is what you need to work on, or hey, you scored 20 points, awesome work, but I noticed, like, how come your foul shots, like, what's going on there? You were like 3 for 5 or whatever the stats may be. That's something I try to discuss with him to give him that positive reinforcement or positive support after any game. So just a couple of disclosures I wanted to kind of put out there. In no ways am saying that the way I went through things is the lay of the land. I think however you approach it, you will approach it that suits you and that's best for you. I will say that, it does take a village. I leaned in to many people to help with anything. If, coaches getting certain understanding on how they operate as a coach, what's their coaching style, how do they play individuals? So being able to kind of really lean on various other coaches and various individuals to help me with that journey with Key. So what it comes down to, the journey is really between your child and you and going through the path of basketball and seeing where that lands for you. If you want to include more people, you're more than willing to. I feel like keep your circle a little small in what you do. I mean, like I said in the beginning, a lot of people will weigh in, a lot of people will provide support, a lot of people will have opinions. At the end of the day, it's for you to trust your gut and for you to go through that. So episode 4 has basically been a brief one, but an important one, because for me, when I started to think about this podcast and where I want to take it and what I want to say and what I want to do, I want to make sure that we're in alignment on some things. And for me, I'm a very transparent person, very bold at times, but very transparent. My son means everything to me. So obviously for me as a single mother going through this journey, he has always been at the forefront. And he will continue to be that individual who I continue to be his biggest cheerleader and be his biggest supporter. I'm not going away anytime soon. As he continues his last year at a D1 schools, SMU, I will continue to support him and get to as many games as I possibly can in person, but I know he's on the ACC network, so I will be tuned in and I will continue to work with him on his journey after school and what that looks like, whether it's various combines, various clinical work, various trying out for different teams, and then eventually declaring for the NBA and draft and going again through the goals of what he wants to get to. So as a parent, the biggest thing I will say always, guys, is support. Sometimes I try to not call my son as much because I know that he has the pressures of basketball, of his coach, of school and everything. So I'm not trying to be another nitpicker in his ear. However, I do often check on him and I want him to do well. So on or off the court, my main thing with him is his well-being as well, his mental health. And for me, and I'll share with you guys another episode, because this is just episode 4, but I know we've done a lot of talk and we've spoken on certain topics that I want to go deeper in. But while he was at the University of Alabama, I ended up for one of the years spending a lot of time in Alabama to just make sure, because that was COVID, you're coming out of COVID and a whole bunch of stuff was happening. And I wanted to make sure I was there for him. And I actually aligned myself to be a lot closer to him for about a year, just so that I could attend all of his games and be very supportive of him on his Alabama journey. So I think we're probably at a good 8-9 minutes. I feel like I have given you some of my disclaimers. What I'd like to do is have you click down here on the subscribe. Make sure you come back, tune in for episode 5, where we'll uncover some more topics in that conversation. But for now, I will see you later, bestie, till we meet again. Bye.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Dropping Dimes Basketball Diaries. The good, the bad, and the full court press. Make sure you like and share, and don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode.